Hey guys, it's me, Wolf, and today we're going to do something a little different again. I wanted to do a little more real-life content on this channel, so that's why I'm here in my workshop, ready to build some stuff. But first I'm sending it back to In-Game Wolf to explain today's build. Yes, thank you Building Wolf. As you can see, I'm inside a video game now. A game we haven't really seen on this channel yet, but I've played this game a lot when I was younger and it has a special place in my memories. So here we are in Stronghold Crusader, a medieval strategy game of the Stronghold series with the addition of oriental troops and buildings. I think it's really a part of the all-time classics, so that's why I've decided to make a little model of one of the buildings in this game. And everybody who has ever played a medieval game, a strategy game, or maybe even a survival game, it is clear that we are starting with gathering our first resources. And now this can be written down in the history books of gaming. The first resource to gather was and is forever going to be wood. That's why we are starting with the woodcutter today. The simplest building, consisting of a few sticks and a roof. Not too luxurious, but it gets the job done. And one thing that I want to get clear right at the beginning is that I'm trying to use as many natural materials as I can. That means I'm trying to avoid stuff like a hot glue gun, modeling foam, or even paint for color correction. Sometimes this will work out fine, other times it maybe doesn't, but these are my own rules, so I can break them easily. So let's join Building Wolf again, who's going to take us along his journey of making good and also bad decisions. Spoiler alert, nothing is working on the first attempt. Heyo, here we are again, and I thought about how to get started, because I can't just stick the branches into the ground outside like the woodcutter has done. So I've decided to build a little container with dirt inside to stick the branches down there and to make the whole thing portable. For that little wooden box, I've started off with cutting a wooden square out of a thicker piece of wood and 4 thinner pieces for the sides. Here is also where my first of many mistakes happened. Look at that angle. Oh! And you gotta remember, the blade is coming down at the front and going back up on the back. But I got off with a minor heart attack. And what's even more stupid is that I didn't realize this at the moment and just continued and pulled the piece out of the center. Once I was done cutting the pieces, I've clamped them into my vise and started to burn them with a Bunsen burner. This is a common technique used in woodworking to make wood look older than it actually is. After I finished all the 4 pieces, I realized my second mistake. This technique is working for real wood, but not really for these glued layered pieces of wood, and the heating made them bend pretty badly. To get rid of this bend, I've lightly heated them on the other side while bending them with my hand, and that actually worked better than I've expected. Once the pieces were straight again, I've marked the spots for the nails and also punched the holes to make drilling a little bit easier. And I've used the manliest hammer ever. These are the nails I'm going to use. They are 1mm thin and I'm going to use a 1.25mm drill for these side pieces. Also, I prefer moving the whole chuck instead of the workpiece. Don't judge me. Once all the holes were drilled, the only thing left was nailing the 4 sides to the square piece. And that's the wooden box finished. Now to the actual building. I started out with gathering some wood. How ironic. And once I've found enough little sticks, I've measured the depth of the box again, which was 4 centimeters. And I knew that I want the building to be 10 centimeters tall, so 14 centimeters.
Quick math!
I've used one of them as a template and cut the others with a pruning shear. One of the sticks was kinda old. After some time I've got 4 corner sticks that are a little thicker and some thinner wall sticks that will look like that once the container is filled with dirt. First I thought that maybe just putting the sticks into the earth would be stable enough, but then I didn't really know how to connect them at the top. Then I had another idea. I had this aluminum wire laying around. It's bending really easily and I can turn it into whatever shape I like. So my idea was to just drill a hole in every stick and put a wire through it. Back to the drill press it goes, and I started to drill the holes into all the sticks until I ended up with sticks inside the holes. No wait. I've decided to put these holes into the top part of the sticks as well. This will give the whole structure even more stability, and it is going to be hidden beneath the roof anyways. But I didn't really think this through enough, because in order to stick the wire through both holes and have the wire facing into the same direction, I needed to drill both holes in exactly the same angle and on the same height, which I didn't because I've eyeballed it. I've started anyways because I'm stubborn and didn't want to admit my mistake, so after a while we have the first attempt here, which looks like this. Now starting with one of the corner poles, I've drilled the hole in the top which doesn't go all the way through, because I don't want the wire to be visible. On the bottom, the other hand, it doesn't matter because it's under the earth anyways, so I've just made a little hook. Here I broke my own rules a little bit for using super glue, but otherwise I didn't really know how to connect the wires to this little stick. I also wanted to make the bottom more stable, so I've simply added this stick that has the same width as the whole building. On the upper half I've added the stick that is going to be the angle of the roof. And the rest was just a simple task of choosing sticks that fit together well and putting the support sticks on the bottom and the roof sticks in the right place. The end result of my first attempt ended up looking like this. I was quite happy, but I also had some things I wanted to change, so that's why I've started all over again. And after some more stick searching, drilling and putting everything together, I can present to you version 2.0 of my build. Now, does this look way better? Not really, but I've made some improvements that made it a lot easier to put together. First of all, I've made the bottom connectors and the angled sticks for the roof thinner, so that the gap between them isn't that large. I've also cut the 4 corner poles into the same size as all the other sticks, and I've made the angled roof sticks a bit longer, to put one stick at the top. So in comparison to the first one, you can really tell that it went a lot smoother to assemble this one. Just look at the wire. That's because this time I've made the highly advanced, futuristic and extremely over-engineered device for drilling the holes in the same direction. Wood with nail. This allowed me to put the stick inside the nail and drill the second hole where I've marked it in exactly the same angle as the first hole. We're interrupting this video for a small ad break. Are you tired of drilling the hole in your stick in the wrong direction? Fear not, because we have our new product, Wood with Nail, here for sale for only $29.99. Yes, you've heard correctly, only $29.99. And now you might think, but what can I do with this device? To that I answer, everything. Nail your wood, nail your metal, nail your wife. Oh, so get it here now for only $29.99. Limited stock only. Once I was happy with the sticks, I've placed the whole thing into the earth box and started to pour some water into the soil to make it more sticky until it ended up looking like this. The rest was pretty simple, just get all in there with my hands and press it into the box until everything is covered nicely. And at the end I've still poured some dry soil over it to make it look more natural. For the roof I had to experiment a little bit and thought about what they might have used in the Middle Ages. It kinda looks like rawhide to me, but I don't think they would have used it for a simple woodcutter's shack. So I've decided to make it out of cloth soaked in some oil to make it waterproof. I've tried it with 4 different test pieces. First was sesame oil. The second one was linseed oil, and I liked the color of the second one better. But both didn't really have the consistency I had in mind. So I've tried it again with a little beeswax inside the oil. And the linseed one was just too yellow for my taste, but the sesame beeswax combo turned out really nicely. It almost looks like rawhide, and the color also fits. So the only thing left was to melt beeswax into sesame oil and put some old cloth into it. I've made enough to maybe mess up once and tried it over a stick on a cardboard box. Are you tired of trying your roof cloth on a... Wait, I already did this joke. Back at the workshop I've already cut the cloth into the right size. It got a little dirty, but hey, that just makes it more realistic, right? And laid it over the house. I've also cut up some little sticks that were probably used as a way to keep it from getting blown away. And I didn't really know how to attach the sticks, so I've just used super glue again. While the glue was drying I thought, a woodcutter without his trusty axe is just a regular dude. So I've decided to make him a little axe. I've cut out the rough shape with an angle grinder, and after some cutting and grinding, I've ended up with this little axe head. I've also drilled out a little hole on the top for a handle that I've carved out of wood, and at the end it looked like this. For a little extra decoration, I've also used a bigger stick to make some trunks, and I've cut an angle on them to make it look like it has been done with an axe. But then I thought, wait, the woodcutter in Stronghold doesn't bring wooden trunks to the storage. There's not even a sawmill there. Oh right, he cuts them himself after felling the trees. That meant that I can't stop with only an axe. I had to build a saw as well. For the miniature saw, I've used a thin, really soft sheet metal that you can cut with a normal pair of scissors. To smooth it out, I've used a Dremel tool, and with a cutting bit I've also cut some little teeth into the saw blade. For the handle, I've used a green twig from a tree, because I can bend it easily without thinking that it's going to break. And again, with my Dremel cutting tool, I've cut 2 small grooves on each side and glued the saw blade onto the handle. So now we have a little saw as well. And if we have a saw, the next logical step was just to make some wooden planks for decoration. Now that we have all the different components, the only thing left was to put all together. While Building Wolf is still doing his thing, I just wanted to say something real quick. I had a long break where I didn't upload, and I had a lot of time to think about what I'm going to do next. And I know, normally I've only posted gaming videos on this channel, except for the one cooking video, but I would like to shove the gaming content on the side for now to make more videos of this kind. If you've made it this far, I would really like to hear your opinion on this in the comments. And also, on this day of filming, it started to snow very softly and I just had to take the little shack outside. Thanks for watching.